So in this video, I'll be telling you how we are going to navigate from one screen to the another one. Why navigation, what I means to say is that suppose we are on this activity, we just raise a button and we click on that and we are supposed to move to another activity, and from that activity there is a button and we will come back to this activity. So these all the things are being done by in Android Studio with the help of intents. So intents are also of two types. One is the implicit intents and the other one is the explicit intents. For these sort of things to navigate from one screen to another one, we use this explicit intents. So, and the implicit intents are generally used for when you see that when we have some options like share via, and some icons will come that via this one or that one. In that case, we use the implicit intents. So our discussion of a topic is today for is this explicit intents. So we are going to navigate from one screen to the other one. So just we will move it that way, and we will go to our app. Not in our app first, we'll just move to our this XML, and over here we just want to place a button in our screen, which right now there's no button at all. So for that thing, we'll just write button and we'll give the width and the height as a wrap content, and then we will constrain our this button with the constraint top to top of parent, constraint bottom to bottom of, constraint bottom to bottom of our parent. And then you can see also that when I'm writing, I'm not writing with whole. I'm just writing a little bit, and it's just giving me auto suggestion, right to right off, or in this case start to start off, or you can see that end to end of. I'll just write here and it will give me auto suggest that end to end of parent. So that's one of the unique features of this Android Studio. And now we just want to add 2 or 3 more features, which is one, we need to give it an ID, which is going to be our next button. You can see that I have just put an underscore over here, which is a recommended way by the Android team to use to give IDs rather than camel case. And now one more thing which we need to give is the text. Text is going to be our next button. I'm not going to write next button at all. I'm just going to write next. And now we can access it in our main Kotlin file. So before accessing this one, we also need to create another activity where we want to go, where our intentions are to go, which is going to be, I just went to this app, and then I went to this new, and in the activities, then I just click on this empty activity. You can give whatever name you want to give. Main activity 2, which is default, that's also fine. I will write just this second activity. Yeah, second activity I will write. That's up to you. The name of a choice is completely up to you. You can see I have just given the first word as a camel case. The first word was a capital letter, and then was a camel case format. That was recommended also, and then hit on finish. And at the top, you can see, at the top or at the bottom, you can see that Gradle is syncing, is start to sync, and by that time we will move to our main activity Kotlin file, where we are going to access our that ID, that view, which is the button, and having the ID next button. So binding, all those things have been set over here. Now I will just write binding, then ID name, which is going to be next button. It has given me that suggestion. And now on click listener, we are going to add this method on click listener. It is giving some parentheses. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to add this curly braces. That's due to because it's lambda function, and we'll discuss about lambda functions in some other videos. But for the sake, you can just need to memorize that on click listeners, we just remove the parentheses and add these curly braces. And in these curly braces, our code is going to be fit from one screen to the other one, in which we are going to write Well, intent, which is of type, which is going to get this intent. This is our constructor, which is supposed to get two things. One is our context, where we are going to write this, and the other one is our is our activity where we are supposed to move, and that is going to be our second activity. So this context, I would just want to talk about this parameter. What is this? This is just a context which is the superclass of our main activity. So for that, it just tells you where we are. We are in this, so we write this. That's as simple as it is. And after that second activity, or the activity name where we want to go, we'll add double colon and then class.java. And now to launch our this one from this screen to the other one, we'll just write this code start activity and add this variable in it, start activity intent. So yep, that was it about for this one. That's all code about for this main activity. Now our focus is going to be shifted from main activity to the second activity. Here is the XML file. We are supposed to add a button over here also. Width and height are wrap content, and now we need to give it the constraints, which is top to the top of, first of all, that is parent. Constraint bottom to the bottom of, again going to be parent. And now constraint, I just written something else. Start to start of parent, again now constraint. End to end of, again parent. That's almost done. We just need to give an ID for this one, which is going to be our back button, back btn. I have given this ID, and we need to add a text for this one, which is going to be back. And now what we need more for this one is nothing, just we need to go to our second activity, and we are going to access this view, which is button, from our second activity. So you can see that here it's following the r.layout concept. And I have told you that binding is better version of that one. It's an updated and modern version of that one. So we are using that binding again. I have already told you how to use the binding features, view bindings in your Android Studio. But you haven't visited that one, I will tell you once again. We just need to write a bit of code for that one, which is going to be, first we need to, that's our latent variable, binding, and in binding also we're going to give the activity name, which is going to be activity second binding. Here it comes. This activity name is the same one of this, just having every first letter of a word is as a capital one. And now we want to initialize this binding, and to initialize that one we just write binding is equal to activity second binding dot inflate. The inflate method we are using in this one, and here we will pass this layout inflator. And in this set content view method, we are supposed to write this binding dot root. That's how we are going to access our views. And now all set, done, all done for the binding. We are just need to now access those views with this binding dot back button, which is our ID name. And you can see also, maybe I have told you in the previous case or not, I'm not sure, that this back button, you can see that it is back and button, it's following the camel case format, whereas we have written over here as a back underscore button. So it will auto import all these things itself, and then set on click listener, remove the parentheses and add this curly braces. Again, we need to give intent, intent over this one constructor. It is supposed to get two parameters. First one is context, which is this, and the other one is our activity name, where we want or where we intended to move, which is going to be our main activity, double colon class dot java. And to launch it, we need to write this code, start activity, and add this variable name, which is intent in our case. And yeah, that's almost all said done. I just hope that this will bring, switch, or navigate our screens from one to the another one. And that's all about this navigation from one screen to another. We just added this piece of code. Just we have added the set on click listener method, and over there we just use this intents, which is going to be our explicit intents, and from one screen it accesses intent, which is our constructor. This accesses two parameters. One is the context, and another one is the class, where activity where our intention is to go, and then start activity to launch this to launch that activity where we are supposed to go. So yeah, at the bottom you can see that success has also come, and we'll just check out whether it's working fine or not. Next, take me to a second activity, and back just take me to the first one. So yeah, it's working really fine. So that's all about the intents, especially the explicit intents in our screen to navigate from one screen to the other one. I hope you must have liked this video, and this video also has solved your purpose to come over this channel. So if you are new, do subscribe this one, and thanks for watching, and do hit the like button also.